listening to the Christian Post Daily Podcast. Today is Tuesday, July 28th. Israeli officials are blasting a decision by UNESCO to add Sebastia in Samaria to both its World Heritage List and its list of World Heritage in danger as a Palestinian site. Ina Ben-Ami, Israel's Deputy Director General for UN and international organizations, told the body, quote, Israel firmly opposes the Palestinians' cynical request to classify Sebastia as a heritage site in danger, calling it, quote, the historical biblical capital of the ancient kingdom of Israel from the 9th century BCE, where King Ahab and Queen Jezebel reigned and where Christian tradition holds John the Baptist was buried. Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar accused Palestinian leaders of trying to fabricate an entirely false narrative, saying, quote, no vote in an international organization can change what lies beneath our feet. Israel's foreign ministry also condemned UNESCO's ruling, blaming Israel for damage at Lebanon's Beaufort Castle, citing Hezbollah's military use of the fortress. Newly released diary entries from Dr. Anthony Fauci are drawing scrutiny ahead of his Senate testimony this week. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, who subpoenaed the former NIAID director, published thousands of pages spanning December 2019 through December 2022, saying, quote, I have said for years that Anthony Fauci cared more about his own image than the truth, and now his own diary proves it. In a May 2020 entry, Fauci wrote, quote, it is not hyperbole to say that today I am the most famous and talked about person in the country. He logged praise from Barbra Streisand, Julia Roberts, and Steph Curry, saved a prayer medal depicting him as a saint, and described friendly exchanges with CNN's Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. His final entry lamented that the far extreme right and QAnon literally hate me. A Virginia mother of 4 has died in Kenya after contracting salmonella while serving at an orphanage there. 36-year-old Isla Garcia, who traveled to Kenya on July 1st with the Richmond-based Overflow Christian Church to support the Zion Family Children's Home, is believed to have consumed contaminated ice and was hospitalized on July 11. Garcia, who suffered from sickle cell disease, developed infections in her kidney, liver, and blood, and doctors said she required a medical evacuation costing more than $250,000. A GoFundMe raised over $33,000, but she died before she could be flown home. Organizer Tabitha Garcia wrote, quote, her fight against sickle cell was fought hard, adding that Aga Khan University Hospital requires full payment for medical services rendered for her body to be released to come home. In her final Facebook post on July 19, Garcia told her children, I'm trying to make it home. Friend Zion Nyeri recalled Garcia insisting, God didn't bring me this far to fail. Imagine receiving the most important message in the world but never fully understanding it. Many individuals, families, and communities still don't have access to the full Bible in a language and format they clearly understand. Bible translation helps people learn who God is, encounter Jesus, and grow in their faith. And this summer, you can be a part of what God is doing through Bible translation around the world. Your gift to Wycliffe Bible translators can help support work in 189 languages, with the potential to impact nearly 441 million people who are still waiting to understand God's Word. Make an impact today at Wycliffe. That's wycliffe.org/summer. You'll also find the link in the show notes. Be part of making God's Word available to all people everywhere. Our thanks to Wycliffe for sponsoring this episode. A legal fight in Ocean City, Maryland is escalating over a church-run homeless shelter. The town's mayor and city council filed an answer and counterclaim on July 20 in federal court against St. Paul's by the Seas Episcopal Church, asking a judge to declare the zoning code constitutional and to permanently bar the congregation from operating the shelter. The dispute began in February when officials ordered the church to remove a homeless tent encampment. St. Paul's responded by opening the shelter by the sea on March 31st, housing 25 to 39 people nightly. The city has issued $1,000 a day citations since June 8. Rector Jill Williams says she wasn't surprised by the countersuit, accusing officials of playing with people's lives and just listening to the money, calling it a religious freedom issue, not zoning. A new California law is set to take effect as students head back to school, requiring every public K-12 campus to provide at least one mixed-sex, all-gender restroom. Senate Bill 760, authored by then-State Senator Josh Newman, a Democrat from Fullerton, allows the facility to be single-stall or multi-stall, requires it to be unlocked and easily accessible, and mandates menstrual products starting in 3rd grade. The California Department of Education says safe restroom access affects student health, learning, attendance, and school climate for all students. But Greg Bird of the California Family Council warns implementation is up to local boards. Quote, a progressive district could use this law as a green light to convert entire multi-stall restroom facilities to mixed-sex use. Parents need to find out right now what their district is planning. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the measure in 2023, calling it one of the most robust laws in the nation. A Texas police union is standing firm behind officers caught on video confronting Christian street preachers at Fort Worth's Trinity Pride Fest on June 27. The viral footage, Officer Sarah Stogner told preachers Rich Penkowski and David Grisham, quote, if someone is offended by your talking, then we have a problem, before threatening a citation. Grisham was ultimately cited for unreasonable noise, which police attribute to his amplification device, not his message. Police Chief Eddie Garcia admitted the department was wrong, promising First Amendment training, saying, quote, we are not a perfect profession, and my officers will make mistakes from time to time. But the Fort Worth Police Officers Association, quote, unequivocally stands behind the officers, insisting public opinion should never be shaped by an edited bystander video. The Justice Department's Civil Rights Division is now probing possible viewpoint discrimination. Religious freedom advocates are sounding the alarm over legislation moving through India's parliament that could cripple Christian ministries across the country. The Foreign Contribution Regulation Amendment Bill 2026, introduced in the Lok Sabha in March, would let India's Ministry of Home Affairs seize, manage, and sell the assets of non-governmental organizations whose registrations are canceled, expire, or are delayed by paperwork, all without judicial review. Minister of State for Home Affairs Nityanand Rai says the aim is to stop faith-based groups from using foreign funds to promote conversions. But Religious Freedom Institute President David Trimble counters that propagating faith is itself a right protected by India's constitution. Congressman Chris Smith of New Jersey warned entire dioceses could lose everything, quote, for an error in processing a single small foreign donation. Active FCRA licenses have fallen below 14,000, while more than 22,000 have been canceled. You can learn more about this story and everything you heard today by clicking the links in the podcast show notes below. Thank you for listening to the Christian Post Daily Podcast. We encourage you to follow the show in your podcast player of choice, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or third-party podcast players like Overcast and Pocket Casts. You can also download the Edify app for free and listen to all the podcasts on the Edify network by clicking the link in today's podcast show notes. We would also appreciate a 5-star rating in Apple Podcasts and Spotify to help us reach a wider audience with the Christian Post Daily Podcast. You can also subscribe to our daily newsletter and get the top headlines delivered to your inbox by clicking that link in the show notes as well. Thank you again for listening to the Christian Post Daily Podcast.